Hello, this is Christy Walker, and I'm going to be presenting my business thesis final presentation. It will be on JCPenney moving forward and sustaining. So JCPenney's been trying to find its way for quite some time now. It has a lot of unsustainable debt. COVID-19 didn't help. It actually pushed the company over the edge to where they ultimately ended up filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So everything's just kind of up in the air. There are some plans for different companies to come in and buy out. The Simon Mall company wanted to come in and buy it and restructure, and there's a lot of debt reconsolidation plans and things up in the air. My suggestions will be in this slide to follow. So I'm going to start with a history of the company. Back in 1902, the Golden Rule store, James Cash Penney and two partners opened that. The annual total sales back then was just $2,800, and that's the mother store that remained in operation for some time. In 1907, James Cash Penney bought out his partners and assumed the sole control of the business, and it expanded to 3 Golden Rule stores with annual sales of $166,000 and up. In 1912, there were 34 stores and annual sales did reach $2 million. Continued history. The company did headquarter in Salt Lake City and was incorporated in 1914. They relocated the headquarters to New York City to be closer to the country's main garment district. By 1922, JCPenney operates 371 stores with annual sales of $49 million, so heading in the right direction. In 1927, they celebrated its 25th anniversary. It's still a cash-only business, consists of 773 stores and sales of $115 million. In 1942, James Cash Penney addresses the company's 40th anniversary celebration. He felt like he was in a position with the company where they were well equipped to make substantial contributions towards the thrift and savings of the nation. The store count reached 1,609 locations. In 1952, JCPenney passes the $1 billion mark in annual sales. There's 70,000 associates, and it is the largest resale organization of its kind in the world. So let's talk about expansion now. So after several years, they looked into changing the business plan. Here's where the change in business plan started. They did abandon their cash-only trading policy, and they started their own credit operation. They also entered into the appliance business with the Pencrest brand. That was a company that was manufactured by GE. They also joined up with Goodyear with plans to open auto centers in the stores to be located in their Milwaukee-based GM company. They also started the catalog mail order business at this point in time. So that was back in 1962. That's when the catalog started. It has a large line of discount department stores named Treasure Island in the upper Midwest. By 1963, they opened their first full-line department store. So with all of the things inclusive, the appliance, the auto, all of those things inclusive into the store. It was 152,000 square feet, and it was designed to be the prototype for future expansions into larger markets. All right, so let's talk about additions and new markets. In 1971, founder James Cash Penney passes away, unfortunately. They do adopt the JCPenney moniker in its advertising. So not just Penny anymore, it's JCPenney. Annual sales are up to $4 billion, and they open specialty stores in Italy. So not only are we in the United States now, we are expanding over into other countries. The stores in Italy were only short-lived, and they are all sold in 1977. JCPenney becomes the company slogan. Annual sales are exceeding $10 billion by 1977. Let's go back to 1974. So in addition to the shopping mall expansions, they're also building smaller retailer stores in less urban areas. So Now it's up to 354 full-line department stores, 1,289 soft goods stores, 31 treasury discount stores, and 255 department stores. So we're progressing in the right direction at that point. All right, now we're going to talk about elimination and discontinuation. So in 1980, inflation, high interest rates definitely impacted JCPenney's earnings. The company discontinued its treasury discount store brand. By 1982, they were eliminating several departments within their stores, such as the major appliances, paint, hardware, lawn and garden, merchandise, and fabrics. So it also did sell its auto center business in 1982. By the time we get to 1983, JCPenney wanted to partner up with a couture designer, Halston III, and that collaboration between the high-end designer and the mass merchandiser didn't go so well and ultimately damages the reputation of the couture designer's business. So they can discontinue that line in 1988. All right, so now we're going to talk about the slogan "Where Fashion Comes to Life." By 1988, JCPenney relocated its corporate headquarters to Texas. So from New York to Texas now. They enticed their corporate employees to a better quality of life to get them to relocate. And 1990, like I said, Where Fashion Comes to Life, and a study showing that 70% of its customers are female. So that's going to be their target customer at this point. In 1994, Women's Wear Daily named JCPenney as the #1 best store for women's apparel in the country. And they also opened a trial store in Chile. So once again, more expansion. And now, physical store closures. JCPenney does acquire and buy the Eckerd Drug Company. So there were 2,699 stores in 23 states. So they're also expanding and branching off into different directions by acquiring companies. By 1998, it's the internet shopping era. JCPenney.com's launched. Internet sales are booming, and they amount for 15 million of the annual sales for the year. The company's purchases the interest in Renner SA, which is Brazil's largest fashion retailer, but they do end up selling it in 2005. So that's also another short-lived venture that they opened and closed. By 99, they perform below expectations at department store and catalog businesses. So they're going to devise a plan that's going to get, to be able to keep sales going and things moving, even though there's multiple store closures. That does improve their cash flow. All right, so let's talk internet sales. So by the year 2000, JCPenney defines its customer as youthful in attitude, though slightly older in age. So we already know we're operating 70% of its clientele are women. Now we're looking at a slightly older woman, even though they want to be youthful in their attitude. So in 2002, JCPenney celebrates its 100th year. They have 1,075 stores in all 50 states, also operating in Puerto Rico and Mexico. They employ 267,000 associates. Annual sales reach $14.8 billion. JCPenney.com website is the largest online retailer of apparel and home furnishings. The company sells Eckerd Drug in 2004, and it retires that division, and also $1.7 billion in long-term debt. So here you are, you got your buying power, you got your internal sales, you got everything going what you need, and it looks like we're operating in the right direction, even though we're kind of going from in stores and over into more internet geared. All right, so we're going to talk now boutiques within department stores. So they develop a partnership with Sephora in 2006. They opened these full cosmetic boutiques within the larger department JCPenney stores. That actually still stands today. I actually just bought something from Sephora in a JCPenney store. 2009, they discontinued the catalog. No longer doing that. It will save money by all the printing, all the things like that. So now we're online and still just moving forward with the technology age. And the outlet stores are also done away with in 2009. So In July of 2009, they opened the Manhattan store located on 33rd Street. It's much celebrated. It's right in Macy's Herald Square flagship. And so they're trying to transition, off-mall locations as well for future expansion. All right, let's talk about the dreaded Johnson era. So Ron Johnson became the CEO in 2011. He tried to develop this boutique store experience inside with a big town square in the middle, with all of these different stores within a store, and then the town hall in the center. It didn't end up working out. He also took away the coupons. He institutes the fair square pricing policy that eliminates the sales and promotions that these people are used to getting. So their target customer, who is the middle-aged woman, 70% of them anyway, now doesn't get their coupons. They're not seeing their savings. He wanted the items to just be at a fair price already. And as you know, most people want to go in the store, they want to look around, they want to see that they're finding a deal, they're getting a sale. And that's what they were looking to eliminate. Sales declined 24% under Johnson's rule there. Stocks were starting to plummet. Macy's filed a lawsuit against Penny's in regards to the Martha Stewart brand for obtaining a merchandising agreement illegally. And JCPenney ultimately ended up losing that court battle. So Johnson was removed as CEO in April 2013. And even though he was super successful with getting Apple up and running and, making them a huge company, it just didn't work out for this type of retail environment for him. So Myron Ullman's brought back as the CEO. That's reinstated. The previous pricing policies and the merchandise offerings they're slowly reinstated. They're brought back. The customers are getting used to seeing what, they're used to. So their hopes are they'll find their way back and they'll start coming back to JCPenney. JCPenney reports $4.8 billion of long-term highly leveraged debt in 2016. Their bottom line just continues to drop. They re-enter the major appliance business. By 2017, in order to pay off part of its debt load, they sell its Texas headquarters for $353 million. They end up then leasing back 65% of its used space. So they still have, a majority of the stores, just not as real estate owned by the company. Jill Soltau is named the CEO in October of 2018. She tries to develop a new store concept. She wants fitness studios, children play areas, different amenities that weren't previously offered. And they do continue the appliances again. So financial issues, massive debt, continuing to hang dark clouds over the firm. Now we're up to chapter 11. So in 2020, the stocks fall below $1 a share. COVID-19 didn't help. All kind of store closures, layoffs, big partnerships like Sephora threatened to terminate its agreement, pull out of the stores completely. And then, by May 15th, 2020, we were already going into bankruptcy. Okay. So my idea on how to save JCPenney is to give its existing customers more reason to shop. Target exclusivity, target the plus size market, target the big and tall market for, the larger men. There's such a huge market for growth in these things. And I think that's something that needs to be focused on. Any changes need to be slow and introduced in waves to eliminate an overall failure so they can be tested. Make sure it's going to be profitable for the company before you go all in. You don't want to shock the brand. You don't want to completely sink the company. Business model has to be revisited and taken back to the core model of the company that made it so successful initially while also modernizing the plan. That's my suggestions. Thank you.